We'll just, we'll continue to look at different personnel combinations, and we expect Peter and Greg Smith and the others to step up, and that's what this place is based on. When somebody goes down, somebody else has to step up, and then we can do different things personnel wise if we need to. In terms of playing, 4 wide receivers and 1 back, or 5 wide receivers and no backs. So we've done those things in the past, and we'll just have to see how each game matches up and what we need out of the tight end. And the UTEP game, for example, it was a bunch of blitzes, so Blaine was not going to be a guy that got out in that ball game a whole lot, although he did stretch the field in an empty set. So we expect those guys to step forward, and we'll have to adjust a little bit philosophically.
Do you look at it in this situation? Is this an opportunity maybe to get the running game going a little bit more too? Because obviously Greg and Peter are better known for their blocking, and although they both have caught the ball well and when given the opportunity, so we want to continue to work on the running game. We came out in the second half last night or Saturday night and worked really hard on the run game and felt like we made some strides in that area. But as you near the conference, you know how important that is, and we want to continue to get better.
How unique is the preparation going to be this week in that you guys prepared for one 2 weeks ago? Does it change much? Do you see a lot of retention already?
There's a lot of retention, but them having played Alabama gives you one more ball game. And anytime you're dealing with a new staff, each game is really important because your book gets bigger. When you're dealing with a staff that has been there for a long time, you have a pretty good idea how they're going to adjust. But playing in watching the Alabama film gave us just a few more looks at different formations, the way they lined up, their thoughts in coming after the quarterback and all those areas. But there's a lot of similarities, and the work that we did 2 weeks ago certainly has given us a jump start on this week.
How do you caution against the guys being, overconfident against a team that obviously was on the wrong side of a lopsided loss?
Well, it's Arkansas. I mean, that's the first thing, and what that means to this school and this state. The other thing, when you watch that ball game, it was an unusual game in that there were 2 interceptions for touchdowns. There was a long run that broke for a touchdown, over 80 yards. And you don't normally have that in a ball game. You don't have all 3 of those things occurring in a ball game. So, when you watch them play and you see the energy that they played with, and you look at the cut-ups of the ball game as opposed to just the game, our players, they've got their attention because they can rush the passer. They play with great speed, and there's a lot of athletes on the field. It's probably as unique as any I've been around because of how early it started. Their dads went to school together. They grew up as young kids together, so they lived together, and they hunt and fish. They're cut out of the same cloth, and so it's a very unique relationship, not only on the football field but also off.
How neat is it for them both to be playing so well together? Right?
Well, I think it's really neat. I think it's really neat. It's something when we were recruiting Colt, and Jordan got hurt, the first thing that Colt said was, "I hate it for Jordan, but that means he and I will be able to go through together. So we'll be in the same class." They have a very unique bond, as Colt does with Jordan. I mean, with Quan and some others, but theirs is really deep because of the longevity.
Are you pleased with how balanced the offense has been over the past few games?
I am, and at the same time, I've done this long enough to understand that we still have work to do. We have work to do. We had some, Colt made a great play to get in the end zone early in the game. Although we had the blitz picked up, we were a little soft in the area, and Quan was fixing to come open on a delayed post route,
And so there's still things that we need to get better at each week, and that's what we talked to the players about on Sunday, is that we did a lot of great things. We had a 99-yard drive for a touchdown. We had three drives of basically 80 yards or further. We didn't punt in the ball game, but there's some little things that we have to get better in order to reach the goals that we've set.
Coach, when you guys were recruiting Cole, I mean, did you believe that 4 years down the line you'd be talking about one of the most explosive offensive players in the history of the school?
In some ways, I did. In others, you never know in the recruiting process, to be honest with you. What we saw in the recruiting process was that he was a really good athlete. He played football, baseball, track, golf. He did all sports, which is a good indicator that he was a heck of an athlete. An extremely bright kid, a coach's son. He had played in a spread offense under his dad, Brad McCoy. He does a great job with what they do. And he was a really confident young guy. And if you think back to the recruiting process, he committed to us very early. And then Ryan Perilou, a young man that eventually went to LSU, was also in the process. And through it all, Colt never wavered. I mean, he never wavered at all. He said, Coach, it doesn't matter to me. I know Texas is always going to recruit good players. So we felt really good about him during the process. Now, you just look back at all the recruits that come through any program and the number of ones that make it big and the ones that don't. He's certainly done a tremendous job. He's worked really hard. I think I was kidding him the other day. I think when we signed him, he weighed 177 pounds, and he looked like a skint squirrel. And now he probably weighs anywhere from 2.5 to 2.8, and has really dedicated himself in the weight room. He runs much better, I think, than anybody would have imagined, and he's playing at a very high level right now.
Do you take pride in the fact that you brought in a guy who might have been a little bit of a project from the standpoint that he played such a small level, and now here he is, one of the best in the country? I mean, under your watch.
Well, you take pride in that, but we like to say it takes a village to raise them. So in all aspects, in the weight room, in the academic arena, and everything that has happened, it takes a whole staff to get it done. You're welcome.